Hey, I'm Beth,
And I'm Scott.
and we're the co-owners of Juicy Fruit Forest, which is basically it's our house with 1.6 acres of a permaculture food forest lot on there. So what does that mean, Scott?
Okay, well, permaculture is a way of, it's kind of beyond organic. It's a way of naturally setting up an ecosystem to produce food for you and kind of a continuous cycle so you don't have to do a lot of work to it and definitely don't use any chemicals, things like that on it. So it's a lot of work, and you might ask us, why would we want to take on a project of this magnitude?
Because we're crazy.
Well, that's sort of true too, but
In a good way, though.
the reason we decided to do this was because Beth was diagnosed with a couple of genetic disorders that we're diagnosed as incurable. We'll talk a little bit about that. A couple years ago, we were hiking on the Appalachian Trail. We'd done about a little over 100 miles of hiking, and we thought she broke her foot. So we came back home, we took her to doctors, and we went to a dozen doctors.
Yeah.
And everybody knew something was wrong with her. Nobody could tell us what it was or how to fix it.
Or who else could figure it out, because I had gone to every single person that could figure it out besides one person, which was a geneticist. After I had a fever of like 101.5 degrees for a month, they sent me to infectious disease, and they said there's a 1% chance there's something very rare that you could have, but it's highly unlikely. You have to go to the geneticist. So I head over to a guy from Mayo, and I had that 1%. So that kind of started us out on this journey.
Yeah, she actually had two things. She
Yeah.
had two genetic disorders, which is lucky day. She had something called Ehlers-Danlos, which is a connective tissue disorder, and she also had osteogenesis imperfecta type 1, which meant that it kind of explains she played collegiate rugby, had a lot of injuries, and after that she still kept getting injuries. Multiple bone breaks, things like that, dislocations of hips and knees, and didn't realize that this was an issue. So the diagnosis was the two issues, and the prognosis was that we were going to expect Beth to steadily decline. I mean, she wasn't walking for about 9 months during this process, and we were told that she would steadily decline, eventually be in a wheelchair, eventually die young because of these diseases, and there really was no hope. And we were actually even fired by doctors because
I would get letters in the mail. They wouldn't even tell me. They would say, "I'm sorry, your case is too rare, and our busy practice in Naples, Florida does not have time to keep you as a patient. We're sorry."
So the medical industry had basically let us down, and so we did a lot of praying, and we were going to buy a piece of property. We started working with a real estate agent, and we were going to buy a piece of property and create a food forest to grow our own food. That was our plan.
That was Scott's plan. My plan was to have that already done so I didn't have to do all that work. So that's what we actually prayed for, and that's what we actually found.
Yeah, we actually ended up about a month after we started praying, we found a 1.6 acre food forest with a little less than 200 fruit trees on it. Now we have more than 200. We've added a few fruit trees, and we've added vegetable gardens and things like that that we are growing most of our own food. We're hoping, our goal is to grow most of what we eat in 5 years. And we're about 1 year into it right now.
Yeah, from this whole process, I have tried every elimination diet. My big goal was just any pounds that I would gain. 2 pounds, 3 pounds, 5 pounds is like the worst. My pain would go through the roof. Because your arches are holding your feet up and your hip is holding up the weight of your whole body, so even just a couple pounds. So, I always knew in my heart that the food was such a huge piece of it, but I love my junk food, so I loved my junk food.
But whenever we'd go off the rails
Yeah.
and go eat at a restaurant wasn't
Yeah.
organic, or eat some junk food, gosh, you want to have a pizza occasionally,
Yeah.
You pay for it. I mean, you could
And
actually
it's not worth
see
it.
her go up and down based on the eating prepackaged foods. I think another part of it was, and I'm a bioengineer by trade, I wanted to see how the natural biology of the land really helps her. I think that's part of it. And you pay a lot of money if you go out and buy probiotics, and you're eating probiotics, and we just walk out and eat off of our trees without washing it, and it becomes this natural biology we're getting ingested, and I'm healthier now from eating here, and Beth can actually walk now. I mean, she couldn't walk for 9 months, and now she is walking. So
Yeah, and we had this big, new, beautiful farm that we bought, and I couldn't even get out into the back to do anything because I could hardly walk. The mosquitoes are buzzing all over. You can probably see them. The joys of summer in Southwest Florida.
But the bottom line was we really have cleaned up our eating. We've had the movement, the working in the yard is also helpful. It's very healing. And we're both much more healthy for having taken on this project. And we hope that you guys will come along the journey with us. If you want to see what we're doing, we'll keep posting more videos. Just this first one really had to be about why we were doing it.
Yeah.
But we'll have a lot of crazy antics and grow stuff for
Oh,
the
I'm
next
sure.
few years.
It's been an interesting year learning how to do things out here. So
Yes. Now I have studied permaculture techniques for about, I guess, 12 to 13 years now, through books, mostly videos, and not really trying out. So this is my first foray into actually trying something I've been studying a while academically. So anyway, if you want to come along the journey, hit subscribe. I hope you like this video, and come along, and we'll have quite a grand adventure with you guys.
oh yeah, we will.
All right, take care.